So we are going to start with the class, and the first thing that I'm going to do is to go to the platform and show you something, because I know that although you are with me in other subjects, there are some people who are not. This is the only one they have with me. So I just want to um, refresh that we are going to work week by week in the platform, and you only have to go to the subject. This is ours. You go to the subject, you go to content, and the work is going to be organized week by week. So you only have to click in there, and you are going to find all the necessary materials, all the necessary information and homeworks that we'll be doing. Don't forget that in the first week, we have the book, the phonetics book. Please download it if you haven't done that. And in the second week, we have the first meeting video. This is in case that you were not present in the last Saturday. So you can go in there and you get the link for the YouTube video. You also have the definitions and rules material that we're going to be talking about today, and the homework that we have in the platform is also about that material. Now, we have from the 25th, that was yesterday, until the 30th, next week, right? So that will be available until Wednesday, so you can do the homework and upload it. Maybe some of you, I don't know if some of you did it. Let's check. Maybe you haven't done it because you haven't read. You see, oh, okay, I see. Two people did it. Samuel and Leandro did it already, but that's okay. Now we are going to explore the rules and the definitions so we can have a better understanding of what this is. Something else that I wanted to tell you is that if you want to participate in the conferences, you don't have to wait for me to send you the link. Remember, the only thing you do is you come here to video conference here, you see, here where I am. You click there and you are going to see the pending video conferences that you have. All right, so you just click there, you go to conference, and you will be in. All right, so let me stop sharing this, and I'm going to present to you this material that we are going to analyze. And the class of today is about some definitions and some rules. We're going to start with the definitions, and then we're gonna go with the rules. I will try to explain it in a very easy and clear way. So make sure that you pay attention, and whenever you have a question, you can raise your hand and let me know so I can clarify. So here we go. Also, please pay attention, because the homework that you have on the platform, if you haven't done it, you will have a better idea of what you have to do. So here we go. Now, some of the rules that we are going to explain are these ones that you see here. Okay, these are the definitions, the first four, and the last four are the rules. So we're gonna go first one by one. I'm gonna put the four of them together here, but we go one by one. So we're gonna talk about what a consonant blend is, what a consonant digraph, homophones, and homograph. And we're gonna go one by one. Listen, here, this is only definitions, okay? So don't worry that you will have to find homograph and all that. No, no, no. Just pay attention to this. So consonant blend, okay? Now, before we start, I want to ask you a question. What is a consonant? What is a consonant? Do you know? Consonant, look here. If you know, you only raise your hand on Zoom and I'll give you the opportunity. What is the meaning of the word consonant? So you guys have no idea of what a consonant is? Well, if you don't know, guys, a consonant is, or consonants are, letters of the alphabet. All the letters that are not vowels are consonants, okay? For example, the letter C, hold on, the letter C, the letter N, S, N, T, all of those are consonants. So what is consonant blend? Well, a consonant blend is when in one word or one syllable, you have two or more consonants, and each one of the consonants have a sound, okay? For example, we have here the word right. If you notice, we have two consonants together. We have the W and we have the R here, okay? Now, each one of the sounds of the letters is necessary for the word to make sense. You know why? Because imagine that you forget to put the R sound. The R sound, if you forget it, is going to say white and no right. But let's take the second example. We have the word spring, and we are going to focus on the first three letters. The first three letters are consonants. And when you have two or more consonants together in a word or a syllable, that's what you call consonant blend. So imagine that you forget to say the S sound, okay? You will say bring. If you forget the P sound, then you're gonna say shrink. But if you forget the R sound here, you will say sping. That means that each one of the sounds of those letters is important for you to understand the word. Because if you forget one of the sounds, then you mean something else, you know? The same thing happens in black. We have the B and the L, and each one of the sounds is necessary. Because if you forget the B, you say lack. If you forget the L, you say back. And you know that these words are very different than black. You see? Black. That's a consonant blend. Now, let's go to consonant digraph. Well, a consonant digraph is all the opposite as the consonant blend. How? Well, here in the consonant digraph is when in one word or syllable, you have two or more consonants, and the two consonants only represent one sound when they are together. For example, we have the word white, okay? So the W and the H together, the two of them, they only have one sound. And the sound is ooh, ooh, white, right? Ooh, that's the only sound that they produce, the two of them together. But we also have the word church. And if you notice, the first two letters are consonants, but although there are two letters, there is only one sound in the two letters. And the sound is ch, right? Because you say church, ch, that's the only sound. And then we have the last word, which is a combination of C and K, right? And C and K, they only represent one sound. And the sound is k, because you say pack, pack. You see? So although you have two letters, two consonants, there is only one sound. All right? So this is consonant blend. This is consonant digraph. Consonant blend. Two consonants together, two sounds. Three consonants together, three sounds. Consonant digraph, two consonants together, one sound. That's it. Then, if I'm going too fast, remember that we are recording the video, and let me see, okay, yeah, we are recording. We are recording the video, and if you have questions, then you can go back to the video, or if you have questions later, because if you have it now, you can ask, and I repeat. Now, let's go here to this definition, homophones. Listen, homo means the same, and phones means sounds. So homophones means same sound. What are homophones? Homophones are words that sound the same, right? They sound the same, but they have a different meaning and a different writing, different spelling. For example, we have these two words. We have C and C. You say it the same way, but they have different meaning and different writing. C from sight and C from ocean, okay? So that's what you call a homophone. We also have the next one, which is B and B. B from the flying insect, and be as I am, you are, he is, I will be, the verb. So although they have the same sound, they have a different meaning. And the last example that I put over there is the word two. Two as the number, 1, 2, 3. Two as in I love you too, me too, you too, I wanna go too, right? And then we have the third one, which is a preposition when you say to go, to you, to me, to the park, to your father. I want to talk to you. You see, it is the same sound, but it has a different meaning according to the context, and also a different writing, a different spelling. So don't forget, homophones are words that sound the same, but they have different meaning and different writing. And we'll continue to the homographs, okay? Homo is the same. And what is graph? What do you think? What is graph? This is a question for you. You can raise your hand and let me know. If homo is the same and phone is sound, homo is the same, so graph is what? What is graph?
I have no idea.
No idea? Oh, okay, that's okay. Graph comes from the word graphic, and graph means writing. As you can see here, A homograph is a word that has the same writing of another, but they have different meaning and different pronunciation. For example, we have the word, this one, present, right? From present, past, and future. Talking about time. This is the present time. But the word can also be pronounced as present. When you present a person to someone, when you introduce a person, when you do a presentation, let me present this to you. Present. Okay? So that's what you call a homograph. You write it the same way, you pronounce it differently, and it has a different meaning. We have a second one. For example, we have record. A record is something that you do that nobody has done before, right? So that's a record. But what about record? Record is when you take your camera, for example, your telephone, and you start making a video. That's a recording. You are recording, right? So to record has a meaning of getting the images in a video. So it is the same word, written, but when you say it, it's different and the meaning changes too. Then we have the last example, which is live, right? Live. Live how? Live when you're on Facebook and you are transmitting right now, you are live, okay? En vivo. But this word is also live. I live here, you live with me, she lives there. She lives in the United States, right? It is the same word written, but when you say it, it's different and the meaning is also different. So that's what we call homographs. Homographs are words that have the same writing, but they have different meaning and different pronunciation. And these are the 4 definitions that I have for you today. If you have a question about any of them, this is the time for you to ask, because we are going to go to the rules and we're gonna take some time explaining the rules. So do you have any questions about the explanation so far? Well, if you have no questions, that means that you understood everything or you understood nothing, okay? So let me go on then. This is going to be a very easy class for me. I'm just planning and going on. All right, now, here we are. Syllables and vowels. Do you guys know, well, it is there, so I'm not going to ask you, it is there. A syllable is a part of a word, okay? So we divide words into syllables, okay? Now vowels. The vowels are the letters of the alphabet that are not consonants. Because remember, in the alphabet, we have 2 types of letters. We have the consonants and we have the vowels. Here, I gave you the 5 regular vowels that we have in the alphabet, which are A, E, I, O, U. I go again. A, E, I, O, U. These are the 5 vowels. And I know that you learned them when you went to school, Spanish school, of course. When you went to normal school, there was a language teacher, Spanish in this case, that taught you, these are the vowels, A, E, I, O, U in Espanol, so A, E, I, O, U in English. Now, why do we focus on the vowels? We focus on them because they are the ones that give sense, that give meaning to what we say. The combination of consonants and the vowel sounds are the ones that are going to tell you if you are saying present or present, if you are saying live or live. So it's very important to know when you have to produce the correct sound. And that's what we are going to learn today. Now, there is something that you need to know. The vowels in English, they have two sounds. Make sure you take notes. The vowels have two sounds. There is a long sound, as you can see here, a long sound, and also a short sound, okay? You guys know the long sound already because when you learned English, you learned the name of the letter. For example, the long sound is A, E, I, O, U. That's the long sound. And all of us know it already. But what about the short sound? The short sound, we use it. We say them, but we don't recognize that they are there. So now we're gonna discover what are the short sounds or what the short sounds for the vowels are. Here we go. We're gonna start with the first rule. The first rule, we're going to discover what is the short sound and when you use it in English. Okay, now the short vowel rule is divided into two parts, okay? The first part says that when you have a vowel at the beginning of a word or syllable, remember that a syllable is a part of a word. So when you have a vowel at the beginning of a word or syllable, the vowel has the short sound. Now, Misael, I have a question for you. How do you pronounce this word? Look at my pointer, the mouse, look at this, the first one here. How do you say that word?
Is.
Is. Okay, very good. Now, Leandro, how do you say the second word here?
Um,
Okay. And what about you, Andy? How do you say the third word? I guess Andy is not there.
yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. So how do you
So
say
is
the
that
third word?
from? I couldn't hear properly because my internet connection is not good and the sound is too loud all the way in the back. Could you
Okay.
repeat the last question, teacher?
The question is, how do you say that word that I'm pointing at right now? That one.
I cannot see.
Oh, you cannot see it? Oh, that's weird. That's weird.
Okay, I got it now. I got it. Yeah. On.
On, right? Yeah, very good. Okay. Now, see this. You guys said is, am, on, right? But if we go back, remember that we learned that this is A, E, I, O, U, right? So why is it that we don't say eyes, aim, and own in here? You know why we don't say that? Because then we are going to have confusion between the words. The short sound for I is E because we say is, right? The short sound for A is A because we say am. And the short sound for O is because you say right? That's what it is. A person who is learning English, you know that we normally learn sorry, the vowels and the alphabet first, right? Imagine that a student knows that this is I, right? This is I. And when you combine I with S, that's ice, right? So basically that's not correct because maybe you're talking about ice cream or ice, which is solid water when you put it in the fridge. So that's why we say is to avoid confusion with another word. For example, when you want to shoot a person, I know you don't have guns, but when you want to shoot a person, first you aim. You see, you're aiming. You're trying to get the right point where you're going to shoot. So to avoid confusion between aim and am, that's right, we apply that rule. That's right, they invented that rule. So let me know if you understand what I mean. Like the short vowel rule, now we discover that the first one is E, the second one is A, and the third one is like on you. Now, but there is another part of the rule. This is only when it is at the beginning of the word, right? Or the syllable. But when you have the vowel between two consonants, as you can see here where I'm pointing at, when you have the vowel between two consonants, then the consonant, the vowel also has the short sound. For example, you say, Misael, no, not you, Misael. Let me give the opportunity to Angelina. Angelina, how do you say this word in here? That one, look.
Fox.
Fox, right? So we don't say folks because the long sound for that is O. So it will say folks, but nobody says that, right? Everybody says fox because the short sound for that is as I told you, fox, like on, you see on in here is the same sound for here, fox. Then let's continue with the other one. Look at this. You have this word in here. We have a vowel in the middle of two consonants. So how do you say this word, Eudi? I guess Eudi is not there, huh? Yeah, definitely he's not there. What about you, Olaini? How do you say the second word in the second chart here?
Bed.
Bed, right? But if you remember,
Yes.
long sound for this is E, but we don't say B, we say bed because the short sound for
Yes.
vowel is E, like in Spanish, bed, eh. Then we have a special one, the U that we know, that is this one. That one has two short sounds. That's the only vowel that has two short sounds. We have U as in put, you see? U as in put. And we have A as in but. So these are the short sounds for the vowels. When it is at the beginning of the word, it has the short sound. When the vowel is between two consonants, it has a short sound too. And the short sounds are E, A, E, U, and E as in is, A as in and then we have on, which is right? This one is difficult This is the only one which is, I guess this is the most difficult, which is because it's between a and o. This is like you put your mouth in a neutral position and you say so and on you. Then we're gonna continue and we'll see this in more details, okay? So here we go. Do you have any questions about the short vowel rule? Just remember, you know the short sounds. The only thing is that you didn't know that for the position of the vowel, you have to put the short sound. Well, I know you knew them. Now, what about the long sound? Because the long sound, we said that they are A, E, I, O, U, right? What about them? So, well, there are two rules for that. The first one says that when you have a word or syllable, and in this word or in this syllable, you have two vowels, okay? The first vowel has the long sound and the second vowel is silent. So it doesn't have any sound. For example, we have the word see. It's not because when you have two E together, it sounds E. No, it's because when they're together, the second one doesn't exist phonetically. Phonetically, writtenly, yes, okay? So it doesn't exist phonetically, and as this is E, then you say C. Check out the second one. The letter I in here doesn't exist phonetically, and this is A. So you say wait. You see, you jump this one, wait. Then what about this? We have this one. This is mute, mute, right? In the sound, you notice that the last one, which is the letter or the vowel E, doesn't sound. The one that sounds is the first one, you. So then you say mute, you see? Then here you have another example, which is take. If you listen to you, you will notice that the last sound that you produce is the K sound, right? So if this is A, when you combine T, A, and K, you know what it sounds? Take. So this last letter, this last vowel, doesn't do any function phonetically, okay? In sounds, it doesn't exist. And this is what we have in the long vowel rule number 1. When you have one word or one syllable, the first vowel sounds and the second one doesn't sound. That's what it is. I don't know if you knew this, guys, but pay attention because we have the homework that you have. You will have to say, I gave you words and you have to say which word goes with what, which rule, right? So this is what I'm trying to explain to you today. So
I was reading them, but I say, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Let me see what the teacher explained a little bit.
right. So now, you know, what you have to do, you go to the word list and you, according to the position and the amount of vowels, you will know to which rule it belongs to. There is another rule for the long sound. This is easy. He says that when you have, it's not a consonant. What am I doing here? Hold on, guys. I have to change this. Hold on. It's not a consonant. Nobody corrected me before for this. Well, maybe students didn't want to correct the teacher. Anyways. Okay, so here we are, guys. Hold on. Here we are. when a vowel comes at the end of the word or the syllable. You know why I say syllable? It's because you know that a word can be divided into syllables, right? So for you to apply the rules, you need to divide the word. And besides that, there are words that are monosyllable. For example, look at the 4 words that I'm showing right now. If you notice, it is a word, but it's also a syllable because this word is monosyllable, okay? It cannot be divided. So when you have a vowel at the end of the word or at the end of the syllable, it has the long sound. For example, we say be and not be, right? We say she and not she. We say go and no God, because if you say God, you're gonna get confused with, you know, the supreme being that we know that exists. And then look at here, you say hi and no he, because when the vowel is at the end, it has the long sound. That's why you say hi, right? So this is the long vowel rule number 2. If the vowel is at the end, it has a long sound at the end of the syllable, okay? Now, then you are going to ask me a question. What is a syllable? Because the teacher said, let me get out of here because I want to explain this to you. The teacher said right now that syllable is a part of a word. So the question is, then how do I know if I have a word in front of me, how do I know how many syllables it has? Because in Spanish, you divide the words into syllables according to the combination of consonant and the vowel, right? If you say casa, for example, let me show you this. In Spanish, if you say casa, right, you know that you have 2 syllables in here. Why? Because the first one is ka, the second one is sa, casa, right? In English, in Spanish, you divide this way by combination, by the combination of consonants and also vowels. So in Spanish, we divide by letters, okay? We focus on letters mainly in Spanish. But in English, we don't do that. You know why? Check this word. It has the same amount of letters as casa, right? Hold on. It has the same amount of letter as casa and almost the same form. There is only one letter that changes. But how many syllables do we have in case? Case, how many syllables do you think? You can guess, you can raise your hand. I'm not gonna say your name. Andy?
So I think that we had 4.
Well, remember,
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because you say that in Spanish we divide by letters. If we do the same, we be pretty much the same.
so
Um,
here we have 2. You see, in Spanish we have 2 syllables. Casa, right? Hold on. What's going on here? We have 2 syllables if it is Spanish. And in English, it is different. I said that in Spanish, we divide by letters, but in English, we divide by sounds. So I'm going, yes, Leandro, what do you say?
I think it could be one sound, teacher, just case.
If it is one sound, then you know what it is? One syllable. If you listen, okay, let me give you the trick. The trick is the following. For you to know how many syllables you have in a word, you only need to listen to the word and count the vowel sounds that you hear. Okay, so I'm gonna say the word and I want you to count. I'm gonna say it right now. Case. How many vowel sounds did you listen to? Case. Only one, right? Which is A. So this means that there is only one syllable. But let me give you another one. I'm going to say the word and you are going to count. English. How many vowel sounds do you listen to? English. What do you
Two.
say? Two? Okay, because you listen to E and E, English. So that's how we divide syllables in English. It doesn't matter. The amount of vowel sounds that you listen to, that's the amount of syllables that that word has. So then, if I listen to English, then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to divide it here. And, right, finish, glish. And just divide it there. And that's it. That's it. It is the same as Spanish. How many syllables do you have on that word? Spanish. Only two. Remember that the
We had three.
are you sure? Look at this. How many vowel sounds do you have? Spanish. Don't get confused because look at the screen, Andy. It's not a vowel sound. It's a consonant. So you only have nish, e, Spanish. Only two of them. So basically you divide it there. You see? So what I wanted to tell you is that you divide, in English, you divide by sounds. In Spanish, you divide basically by letters, okay? That's the biggest difference when you divide syllables. Yes, Leandro, you wanna say something else?
No, teacher.
Oh, okay, that's right. So here we continue, okay? That was the long vowel rule number 2, okay? And I have a question for you. I have a question, hold on. One question for you. One question. One question. This word, I say it cake, cake. The question is, why is it that I say cake and not cake, cakey? Why is it that I don't say cakey? Because we said right now that when the vowel is at the end of the word, we actually use the long sound. Why is it that I don't say cakey and I say cake? Let's see if you guys know.
So, like you said before, you're gonna create a confusion when you change or trying to pronounce I mean, when you say like oh, and things like that, it sound different if you're trying to do the same way. But phonetically, you need to trying to organize the way that sound better.
Right. Let me give you one example here. I'm gonna put it there. How would you say this word, Andy?
Cut.
Cat, right? You know why? Because the vowel is where?
In the middle.
In the middle, and when it is in the middle, you say ah, so that's cat. But what about this one?
So sound different because it's the vowels at the end too.
Yeah, it's not because of that one. It is because when you have, this is only one word, right? This is only one syllable. You see, it has only one syllable. When you say the word Kate, A, there is only one sound. And that's right, this one doesn't have any sound in there. You guys will work, don't worry, you're gonna work a lot with the vowel sounds. Maybe now it might sound confusing, but when we get into that, it's gonna be easier for you. So don't worry. Now, one thing that I wanted to tell you is that most of the monosyllable words like this follow the long vowel rule number 2. If you have a monosyllable word that has the vowel at the end, remember monosyllable is only one syllable, which means that the vowel, there is only one vowel in there. If it is at the end, then you actually have to work with this rule, sorry. And now we have I guess we have the last one. The last one is a little bit confusing, so let me show you. I know that we said right now that when you have a word that has two vowels, the first one sounds and the second one doesn't sound, right? But there are some special words that don't follow this rule. For example, look at these ones. You have the two vowels, right? But if you know the pronunciation, you will notice that they have a different pronunciation far than what it is. Because look, you don't say book, you say book, book. We don't say breed, we say bread, right? And here we don't say ato, because that would be ato, right? If we apply the rule number one that says that when you have two vowels, the first one has the long sound and the second one doesn't sound, then this is ato. But we don't say ato, we say auto, right? And look at this one also. If you apply the rule, you will say eat, and you're gonna get a huge confusion between eating to eat and the number eat, which is not eat, is 8. So that's right. This is what we call vowel digraph. Vowel digraph is a word that doesn't follow the long vowel rule number 1. And then you say, but teacher, how is it that I'm going to know which word follows the long vowel rule number 1 and which word follows the vowel digraph? Because now I don't know. Okay, you know how? I'm gonna give you two things. Number 1, from the 100% of words that we use, the vowel digraph only represents 1%. So this means that out of 100 words that you say, 99 will follow the long vowel rule number 1, and only one word will follow the vowel digraph. But I'm gonna give you another hint how you can limit the amount of error that you can commit. If you are reading a book and you find a word that has two vowels together and you don't know if it is vowel digraph or if it follows the long vowel rule number 1. Let me show you another hint. Check this. I want you to notice something. The position of the vowels. Look, here they are together, one after the other, right? They are one after the other. Here they are one after the other. But here, they're separate by a consonant. Here, they also separate by a consonant. So let's go to the vowel digraph and check what we have. in vowel digraph, the vowels need to be one after the other. You see? One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So this means that if you find a very strange word and you don't know how to pronounce it, if the vowels are divided by if they're divided by a consonant, they follow the long vowel rule number 1. But if the word has the two vowels together, like one after the other, just right there, then you will have to stop because there is tricky, right? So how is it that you're gonna know then in this situation? Well, I'm gonna tell you, there is not a way to know it, because for you to know that this is a vowel digraph, you need to listen to the word. You need to listen to a person saying the word. For example, if you see this word and you haven't seen it before, example, let me give you an example. An example of another word. If you see this word, I know some of you don't know it, okay? If you are on the internet posting things, you know, you might know it, but there are many people who don't know this word. This word, that one, the majority of people say three. You know why? Because they know the verb read, okay? Read, look, 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 read. So they guide themselves from read and they say, oh, okay, this is 3, then. It's not like that. It is thread. Why? Because this is actually a vowel digraph. And the only way for you to know that this is thread and not 3 is to listen to a person, okay? That is the only condition that you will know when a word follows the long vowel rule number 1 or when a word follows the vowel digraph. This is only when the two vowels are one after the other. Because if they are divided by a consonant, then you know that they follow the long vowel rule number 1. Hopefully I'm not getting you confused. Yeah. And that's it. I guess that's it. Those are the explanations that I have for you today. That's it. You know? And this information, with this information that I gave you, that's with it is how you're going to fill up the exercise that I left. Now, before we finish the meeting, I have a question for you. I know that the majority of you speak English, and how many words, how many English words have you invented from the ones that you use? How many words that you invented, you created them, and now everybody uses that word? How many? Have you ever created an English word? No? Okay, maybe you say, okay, no. You say, English is my language, teacher. How I'm gonna, okay, then I'm gonna ask you, what word have you created in Spanish that everybody uses? That everybody uses, not only here in Dominican Republic, any Spanish speaking country. Because if you say como, like yo como, if you go to Spain, everybody understands what you're saying. If you go to Puerto Rico, everybody understands what como is, right? Have you created a word like that that everybody knows, even in different countries? No, right? Right. You know why? Because all the words that we know, we didn't invent them. Words were created. Words were there before you were born. And when you were born, you only stole, you took the words from the environment. Sorry. You took the words from your mother, from your father, from your sister, from your brother, from the television, from the radio, from the neighbor, from everybody, you know? And in English, it works like that. First, you listen to the word, and then you know the physical representation of it, the graphic representation of the word. That's right, is almost impossible for you to know the correct pronunciation of a word that you have seen written first, not orally first, you know? Let me give you an example that one student from another class gave me. Um, I don't know if you write it like this. Hold on. Just 1 second. I know you cannot see me, but give me a second here. Oh, I lost it. Well, anyways, I was gonna give you an example of Johnny. Do you guys know Johnny Depp, the actor? Well, you don't know. Okay, there was a problem with his last name. Many people said that it was Depp, and many people said that it was Deep. But the point is that he is very uncomfortable because unless he doesn't tell you, or unless a person doesn't tell you the correct pronunciation, then you're gonna get into trouble, because as you have experience with a word which is similar, your brain automatically assimilates the pronunciation of the other word with this new word that you are seeing. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. So for you to know how to say a word that you haven't heard, you know what you need? You need to listen to it. There is no way to know it when it is written, because it could be said in any way. And that's it, guys. That's it. I wanted to clarify that, you know? So that's it. Do you have any questions before we finish?
So from my side, um, like you say, it's a lot of things. I mean, it's not like a lot of material to work, but need time
To
to read
study?
it and also to yeah. I mean, um, these videos is really helpful because if we don't understand something, we can go back and listen to
Yeah.
you. And something that really helped me a lot is that if I don't understand something, I'm trying to find more information, even reading another book or asking another person maybe has more experience than me. I think the right thing is don't keep quiet. If you don't have some answer, we may ask the person that maybe has more experience than us, and that helps us a lot to improve our knowledge in this. Let's see, our second language of our signature.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, that's right. Listen, you're not going to learn this only having me this hour talking to you and explaining. No, you will have to go to the book and study. And when you study, you will have to go back to the video and you will say, oh, now I understand. This is not something that you understand that just by me explaining to you 1 hour. You will have to read, you will have to analyze in your house, because this subject is not like the others. Like, for example, mathematics, you know, when you learn the addition, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3, it is the same procedure, but here it's not the same. It's very different, you know? So that's what it is. So I will see you then next week if you don't see me anymore this week.
All right, take care, teacher. Classmate, have a great weekend and see you around.
All right, see
Thank
you.
you. Likewise.
You too.